All right. Is this thing on? Eric, can you hear me? Can you hear me,
John, I
Eric?
can hear you loud and clear.
All right. All right.
I didn't hear you last Sunday though.
No, and I apologize that it's summertime and sometimes stuff happens and you're enjoying the summer and you just can't get to the show. I mean, even tonight, our guest, we have a guest tonight that I almost thought we were going to have to send AAA out to check on his bus to see if he was going to make it. But you know what? He made it and he's here. And we're going to get into that in a couple minutes. But welcome, everybody, to Canton Chronicle Live. I'm your host, John Camo, and right there next to me is
Eric DiGirolamo. How you doing, everybody?
And big shout out to the replay crew. I want to get that up there right away because that's our love, the replay crew. And there's a very special birthday today. We have a very special Canton Cronk. I want to wish you a very happy birthday. Eric, I'm doing a little, I'm calling an audible so that we can get our guest in earlier because, I mean, he made it on time. So let's get right to him. Right. So tonight we're going to be interviewing the man who wants to lead the Norfolk County DA's office. And we're going to ask him why. We're going to ask him some questions, and hopefully they're going to be what we think they're fair questions. So I think we're just going to get right into it. So before we bring him on, obviously, like I do with a lot of our guests, let's get to know who our guest is.
Lock the doors. 7 folks are fighting for the courthouse floors. Some got money, some got names.
Awesome. Everyone can hear me. I was very surprised.
How'd we do? Did we do all right? Did we focus on the bus enough for you?
It was, I would have let you in on all the outtakes and the bloopers reels, because we did that whole bus thing in one take. But,
Yeah.
took about like 15 takes. So watching me jump off the bus a bunch of times, I thought maybe you stole my blooper reel.
So we have one disclaimer that Eric would like to get off off his chest first. And
Well, I'm very happy to have you on, Jim. Welcome to the Canton Chronicle. I think you're well aware from our interactions on X that you're my second favorite candidate, and I welcome you to the show. But John isn't declared in any way. You can still win his vote for sure. And I'm super happy to have you on the show. But I thought it was fair that everybody understand I've already declared.
Okay.
Publicly.
Oh, sure.
But but again, he's only one person, and when we first started the show, I wanted to have it where anybody could come on and talk, whether you agree to. I mean, because my thing was always, if everybody agrees, it gets really boring. When everybody always is in agreement, it's boring. I want to talk to people where you can have a discussion and you can disagree about things, and you can have. Not that I'm going to disagree with you. I don't even know. That's why we're having you on. But that was the thing. So even though Eric might like someone else, I'm going to leave things open.
No, that's politics, and for whatever reason, I can't say I can't say either way, but I appreciate the disclaimer, and I'm big in also maybe not trashing anyone else. I feel like maybe early in the election, back before the new year, I think I went that route for maybe a day or two, and then I was like, this isn't helping anyone, so I backed off from that. And for the
we're going to get into that later, but no, I mean not really, but I mean that's probably going to be an answer later. But let's start with who the hell, and are we saying it right first? It's Barakat,
right? Yeah, that's
okay.
Right.
It's Barakat.
Some people say Bearcat. It's easier. And I think it's more memorable. Just the animals, and but sometimes the animals with an A in the middle. But yeah. So I guess Who am I?
Who are you?
Up until I declared my run for Norfolk DA, I was, just a attorney, defense attorney looking to be maybe DA, because I wasn't happy with what Morrissey was doing. But that's kind of the easy answer. Karen Reed's big. You dance around that. Sandra Birchmore, in many ways, is worse. But the systemic issues are, they kind of bleed into both cases. But I represent. I'm a public defender. I've been representing people for over a decade in Massachusetts, and I was seeing a lot of parallels, like with what was happening with Karen Reed, and my own clients. Like some folks even from my office. I work in the defender's office. I don't work like independent or anything, but they got a murder acquittal of a black man in Brockton. 0 news trucks out there, none. No one was covering the case. Not only for the victims of that family of the deceased, but also what about justice for that person, and a lot of parallels in my own cases. Police are doing kind of shady things and getting, for lack of a better term, getting away with it, but no one's paying attention. They start paying attention when it's covered, and you got these, whether it's you two or someone else covering the case, or everyone covering the case, and then the mainstream media kind of gets more involved in calling out what they see. But these are kind of injustices I've seen throughout my almost 14 years now as a public defender, and I live in Norfolk County with my family, and this is I want a community where I could trust the police as well, and hope that they're conducting fair investigations, and that the cases that the district attorney's office is actually bringing in court and taking to the hoop are ironclad in many ways.
Now, were you one of those kids that as you're growing up, this is something? Was this a family thing? Something you always wanted to get into? And or is it because you didn't want to go to Suffolk? What's going on?
No, well, why do you say Suffolk? But yeah, well,
Suffolk Law. You didn't want to go.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, but I've lived here now for almost 17 years, and I'll be honest. Yeah, no one in my family is an attorney. No, I'm first generation to even graduate college, and John went to Suffolk. Oh, I didn't know that, John. Okay. Oh, okay.
Three of the four boys in my family went to Suffolk. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well. So yeah, I'm first generation to even go to college, and I'll be honest. I grew up, and I don't know if it was more of a self-fulfilling prophecy or not, but I grew up watching The Practice with Dylan McDermott, and I mean, it so happened that he was a public defender in Massachusetts, and I loved it. I binged it as a kid. I come to find out now it's on Roku TV, like, for free. It's streaming all the time now. So I've recently gotten back into it, but I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to defend. Well, I want to defend people. And I went to law school to become a defender. I did it. I went to New England, by the way, not Suffolk.
I know.
The little sister of Suffolk.
I researched some of you over the last couple of days. That's my little dig.
Jim, after I'm sorry, after 14 years of being a public defender, what are the things that you've taken away from being a public defender that keeps you motivated?
Well, it's certainly tough at times. You get some really difficult cases, very difficult clients. Often no one leaves the courthouse happy. But that being said, you do get cases where the state or the police or whoever they have it wrong, and you stand up for that person who no one in the room wants to defend. It's it's kind of like when John Adams defended the British after the Boston Massacre. No one wanted to defend those guys, but there's kind of this higher power in defending the people no one wants to defend, because, as we've seen recently, the state often gets it wrong, or they're not as, I guess, they're not as on top of things as we might hope and expect. But it could be those little those wins kind of carry you through. It's not always a happy ending.
Is there a client or an individual case where you walked away saying to yourself, something about this system just isn't right, just isn't working?
Yeah, I mean, I have even whether it's ongoing litigation too. A lot of things. I had a case, and it was funny. I'm still waiting to hear back from the Boston Globe, but I told them this story. Right? I got a invitation to go to the Boston Globe to interview, because they're going to endorse somebody for this race. And I went in thinking, I don't know my chances of them endorsing me. I still don't think they have endorsed anyone yet. But so I went in and I shared this story with them, but also a side story. I was like, I got, not much to lose. And I went in, I said, I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be comfortable. And the moment I got in the door, I was drenched, dripping.
Kind of like me tonight.
Oh,
but it's an AC
it's
an AC thing with me.
There only one other time have I ever maybe been in court where it was like buckets coming down. They were like, you want to take off your jacket? I'm like, no, I'm good. But to the story, it's not going to be a super interesting story, but it's almost like a why. it kind of gets to my theory of prosecutorial discretion and why the DAs bring a case, and the importance of using your own sense of humanity to weed out some cases, to say, this is a crime, but we're just not gonna, we're not gonna prosecute it. And the DA has that power to do that, even with the most serious crime. They could say so and so shot somebody on the street, and we have all the evidence, and we're just gonna not prosecute the case, and they can do that, and that's the power they have. But it's kind of these small wins or these smaller cases that could make a bigger difference. So I had a case one time with this guy. Because he's in a desperate situation. He's homeless. He doesn't have any money either. Stole $20 worth of chicken tenders from Market Basket. And instead of just saying, I had even said, to the prosecutor, does Market Basket want $20? I'll give him $20, make the case go away. Obviously it doesn't work like that. So, but they were like, no, we're prosecuting this case. And usually small minor shoplifting gets dismissed, closer to trial for various reasons. But this case, they brought it to trial, and I'm like, okay, well, Market Basket's not going to show up. They're paying the folks who do theft recovery, more than $20 an hour, or at least you would hope. So why would they spend that person who's the witness to come into court and pay them, $25, $30 an hour to defend the case for $20? But I don't know, out of principle or what, they show up. And so it's like, are we really going to have a trial over a homeless person stealing
and chicken nuggets
because they were desperate? And thankfully, maybe not because of my advocacy, a judge who was he's not retired, but he kind of strong-armed the prosecution into kind of like settling the case, making it go away, instead of wasting the resources of the court staff, the clerks, the judge, myself, prosecution, court officers, over a trial over $20 because someone was in a sad situation.
It's a machine.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I have so many other questions that I could get into just on that, but but we have to push on. But that it just tears at you. Is it? Well, I might as well ask it. Is it because that maybe they're thinking down the line that we got to make an example of this guy so that nobody else tries to do? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just trying to think. What this big corporation is trying to do.
Yeah. Them and that was surprising, and even the prosecutor, whether they got, some of them wish they had the ability to say, I'm not touching this case, but they get the marching orders,
Right.
You have to prosecute it. You're not throwing this away. If I were ADA, I would give the line. If I were the Norfolk DA, I would give the line is the ability to dispose of these cases, not just shoplifting, but I have folks report to me, sure, to say these are the cases we got rid of this month, and this is our reason. If there's an issue with what the reasoning is, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. But in the meantime, these line ADAs to keep things rolling, they need to be able to do this.
What
Right.
Jim? What if it's repeat offenders? Similar infractions, repeat offenders.
Yeah, it's it often is, and I guess my counter to that is we hope to meet them as a first offender. Repeat offenders are repeat offenders because they had the first conviction on their and there's so many studies. I have actually right here next to me is like almost like for me the Bible, the new Jim Crow, and so it's filled with data and studies and by folks who are much brighter than I am, and the biggest contributor to recidivism in this kind of cycle of being a repeat offender and doing it again is actually getting the first conviction on your record, because it's almost like a mental barrier. Like I'm already, whether it's a felony or misdemeanor, but I'm already a convicted felon. Now what else do I got to lose? So I'm gonna graduate from shoplifting to larceny, from larceny to like armed robbery and on. So if you can do what you can, whether that's through the chicken tenders guy, he could have been diverted, the case could have been decriminalized, the case could have just been no pros with the prosecutor saying, in my discretion, we're just not going to prosecute this. And if he was a first offender, that can go, the effects of that are going to be, received more than like, you're going to get guilty, put you on probation. Hope you don't do this again.
Wow. All right. Before we get into the heavy stuff, we're going to do a quick lightning round. All right. Okay. Here we go. And no lawyer answers. You got to pick something. Here we go. Your morning coffee, is it Dunkin', Honeydew, Mary Lou, or Starbucks?
Dunks.
All right. Now I'm going to change this one up, but the original one was going to be
black. I thought you were going to ask black or
no.
cream.
Oh, I always get mine black with cream and sugar, but that's regular. Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, or Patriots, but I'm going to change that to, are you a Cubs or a White Sox?
Of all of them, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Cubs fan.
You're a Cubs fan.
True. I even got a Cubs tattoo here.
So you're a fan of Theo Epstein as well as me.
I am the curse breaker.
The curse breaker.
When I went to the first Cubs game when they came to Boston after they won the World Series in 2016, and they had the 03 trophy and the trophy, and they called them the curse breaker trophies. And I got a picture with both of them, and they said, the curse between the two trophies, it was like 200 and some odd years of a curse from those two trophies, and I was like, that was awesome. But
is Theo in the Hall of Fame yet?
No, he should be.
He should be.
He not single-handedly, but I mean, he was behind two teams that had the biggest droughts.
He needs to go to Cleveland now, and
Yeah.
It's okay. Me. It's okay. Bench trial or jury trial?
Oh, jury trial.
Prosecutor or defense attorney you would rather have mad at you?
Oh,
would you rather have the prosecutor or defense?
Prosecutor. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather cross-examine a police officer or a politician?
Police officer.
Wow. I didn't even have a Y on that one. One word. Go ahead.
Said Michael Morrissey.
I know.
Well, I mean, which hat is he wearing?
Yeah. What is one word to describe Norfolk County politics?
Complicated.
All right, there you go. You survived our lightning round. Now we get into some more of the nitty gritty ones. So you've spent 14 years now defending people prosecuted by the government, and now you're asking voters to put you in charge of prosecuting people. Explain that transition to somebody sitting at home thinking, why?
Sure. So I've in my career, I've seen a lot of prosecutors go from prosecution, and they said, I've put in my time, however long that is, and they say, I'm going to now defend, and they kind of cross sides, as they say, and they're great. I mean, they know the system from the inside, and they're great defenders, and they use that to their advantage. There's nothing that says going from being a defender to being a prosecutor is not the same, because I know the system from the inside. I deal with this every single day. I know where police investigations kind of cut corners and fall short. I know when evidence that needs to be challenged can, where the weak points are of that evidence. And I think most importantly, like, I see the collateral consequences that prosecution has on families and often victims. Sometimes victims choose they don't want to testify, and prosecutors' offices still make them. Um, I think that's terrible. Um, you know, I think taking the piece of someone who's never been a prosecutor, putting them in the role of prosecutor could is a it's a benefit. It's not a deficit.
Uh, I did look into some of your social media, and you briefly discussed it at the beginning. Some of your early social media posts had slogans like "Where is the Norfolk County DA?" "Norfolk County DA, wake up!" "Morrissey does what Morrissey wants." "Morrissey resign." Not resign. "Morrissey reign is coming to a close." Uh, so do I get the impression that early on you weren't a Morrissey fan, or was this just politics? Running for an office.
No, I wasn't a fan. I think I wasn't a fan even maybe a little bit before the Reed Birchmore kind of things hit the news. Nothing, at least nothing personal against him.
Mhm.
For all I know, I may have voted for him because he had no incumbent, running against him in years past. And I've lived in Norfolk County for like 9 or so years now, maybe less. But anyway, I was saying all those things because I would have bet my paycheck that this man would have ran again for DA, and because I think the machine is so big. I don't think, and maybe as we've seen with and then not only that, not that I think maybe he's been deemed the right hand man of Morrissey was going to then also run because
Mhm.
I would have thought he's not running not because he feels like it's time to hang it up or anything, but he's not running because he doesn't feel like he can win because of all the controversy. So why would someone else in the office feel like they would also then win? So it's kind of like these, whether it's the police unions or whoever now backing Greg Connor, they're it's hard to say. I would have assumed these same unions or whoever still would have backed Michael Morrissey had he ran. And
Which are now backing Connor.
yeah, I can't speak
Yeah.
for every endorsement.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
But whether he would have won, I don't know. I think that question remains.
Mhm.
People have put in their time with DA Morrissey and why kind of trash that investment at this point, because it's kind of and it gets into a lot of what I say about money out of politics. I say that sometimes once in a while because it's kind of like a pay to play scheme.
Mm-hmm.
You got whether it's labor unions or police unions endorsing, it's like or electrical unions. Is it because does the son of
We know
some
why. It's because we know why. It's because it's the life of being in Massachusetts. It's
yeah
just it's yeah.
does the case go away and
Right.
never hit the news because
Yeah.
we,
He's a
we
good guy. He just
don't-
made a mistake. Can we just kind of
and then they use their prosecutorial discretion to say no, the way they should have with my chicken tenders guy
right.
No, we're not gonna prosecute this case. And then of course mostly no one hears about it, so it's a good investment. Pays off. We've already favored no with me no more of that.
Do you think that not having Morrissey running is going to affect voter turnout?
In which way?
Well, whether I personally think that there's been so much notoriety, not for the good side of things, the last 3 years about Norfolk County and the district attorney's office, that if he did run, I think you would have a massive turnout of people to vote against him. Whereas he's not running now. So, and there's 7 people that are in the mix. How does that affect turnout. I mean, I guess there's 7 people to draw more people, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and on the trail of all these forums and all this stuff, these that the candidates get invited to, I've had a chance to meet and speak with Greg Connor many times, right? And so I've kind of heard his stump speech over and over, not just on a video, but also in person, and he claims to be different than Morrissey. So whether the voters truly believe that too, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be like there is much outcry, like he's Morrissey's number 2 or something like that. It's you got some people, but not in the certainly not in the way that if Morrissey was running again.
Right.
Right.
I think there was some forum we were at. It was the Medfield forum, because I remember it was Adam who said it, and I said, "Wow, what a great response!" But the moderators asked everyone, what would be essentially your litmus test of success if you took over at the Norfolk DA's office, and I think Adam's response was, I wouldn't make I would make sure that the office is no longer a national embarrassment. And I said, I was thinking like, wow, what an answer. So yeah, if Morrissey was on the ticket, I do think, yeah, there would be more
Yeah, I think he became a polarizing figure over the last 4 years. Which will lead me into my first. I have 2 questions on the John O'Keefe Karen Reed case, and that's it. And we'll move on to other things. First with John. John O'Keefe, his family, they lost someone they loved. In your opinion, what obligation would, if you were the DA, what obligation would you have to John O'Keefe today?
Yeah, so you want to investigate from all corners. I don't think it's the jury has spoken. You get a not guilty, and it's all things are over. And I say that because I'm using like my defense attorney cap now.
Yeah.
Where if I were to defend someone who is now, they said, oh hey, we did more investigation, and it was Mr. Z was the real killer of Officer O'Keefe, and I get that case. A big part of my defense strategy would be, no, you had the right person the first time in Karen Reed. This is all politics in trying to whether it's politics or whether it's trying to make up for a mistake of prosecuting Karen Reed and trying to save face for the office. That would be my first defense. Now, in that, so it would be really hard, in my opinion, to bring a case without some sort of extraordinary piece of evidence that was like, there's no question, it's uncontroverted. So what you can do, I guess, would be, you could prosecute a lot of folks for perjury. First, for murder, perjury is a life offense, maximum life. So it's just as effective in the sentencing. It'd be up to a judge how long they would sentence if you were to kind of get that to secure a sentence, to secure a conviction like that. But so it doesn't mean that investigations should stop to see was anyone lying. Did anyone lie under oath? And if they did, they should probably pay the price that a jury and the judge say they should.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just soaking that one in. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for some of these answers. You're very I really appreciate the answers that you're giving. I didn't know enough about you so
It's funny.
yeah.
It's funny as I think it's gaining, of popularity, and there's no polling. So
Right.
who's got, you got these kind of independent sources of who's popular. You could look at the Office of Political Finance filings and say, oh well, Greg Conner, Adam Deitch, and Bob Jubenville. Don't sleep on him, by the way. All have over $100,000 in their campaign account.
Mhm.
So if you're going by numbers and popularity, okay, you can say that. If you're going by, YouTube views, I know we all did a CBS interview, and I think Adam's interview has eclipsed all the other candidates of views, total views. That's kind of the data we're working with. As the election's growing closer now, I think more people are paying attention because they're
Mhm.
getting their ballots in the mail. They're seeing pictures of. I think Quincy in the Patriot Ledger just put a whole sample ballot in the newspaper like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and so now more people who are interested in the race or races, they're looking at the candidates, they're looking into them, and I've seen an uptick. It's not a whole lot of momentum, but I've seen a lot of uptick of more people reaching out to me wanting to find out more information.
I know a little. Wish we had done this sooner and with more of the people. I had uh that's on me. It's my fault. I probably I was never a true crime person. I'm in
No,
it because I
not
grew
just
up in
you.
Canton.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
No,
think
I
it's
know. I grew up in the town, so that's why I have that's my Eric did too. We're both from Canton, and I
Both,
it's
both grew up in Kent.
and there's no secret. I graduated with many of the people that were in this story. So that's why we're invested in that. But then now you have a state rep race, you have a DA's race. I mean, politics comes along with the story. So even
I
though I'm
mean,
not a
voter
true
turnout.
yeah.
It's at least. I mean, I know it's different for some districts, but in my district, there's a challenger to Stephen Lynch. It's Patrick Roth, and then Ed Markey and Seth Moulton are going to one another. So I think those two races are actually going to boost turnout a little bit, versus if they were both U.S. Rep and U.S. Senate was uncontested. Some folks just might not care, and so
Right.
they why even go vote? Maybe they might say, but yeah, I responded to someone recently on Twitter who said, "You're starting to grow on me." They said, and I responded back and said, I wish I had a few more months
Like a
because
fungus. No,
yeah,
no, no, no. I'm teasing. But here's the thing, and it doesn't matter who you vote for president. You only had two to choose from. And for the most part, when you're in Massachusetts, you only have a lot of times you always have somebody always running unopposed for years and years and years, and then finally. And that I'm always the one that says, "Oh man, that's all we had to choose from." So you had to pick one. Now finally, you get a race where there's 7 people, and it's like there you go. It's what we've been asking for forever to have like a real race with 7 people.
yeah,
You
and a
know?
lot of folks are saying, they wish there was ranked choice voting,
Yeah.
uh, and
What do
but
you think? Do
I
you like
think
ranked choice or no?
I don't, but I
Yeah,
think
I
in
don't either.
November there's something on the ballot, question 4, I think it
Yeah.
is, about that the top two, regardless of party, would move on to the general election. So, um, whether
Yeah.
that would have shaped things differently in this race, I mean, in two
Make it
weeks,
a true one-party state.
I know.
yeah, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I shouldn't say that it already is. So
Pretty much. So you said publicly that you would not have charged Karen Reed, um, and it was pretty much because of Michael Proctor's conduct. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I think there's more the DA's office knows that we don't know about
Mhm.
him. It's going to come out. if this is all that's come out, I'd be surprised. But I think the worst is still under wraps. And I've said there's a Brady list that prosecutors' offices keep. And for any cronks who are unaware, the list is just a list of cops that maybe they have some sort of misconduct in the past. The prosecutor's office is obligated to turn that over in discovery to defense counsel. If defense counsel can use it, it's great. For the defense, I'd say probably most of the time they can't. Like 2 examples, I got a Brady discovery that a cop I was dealing with on a stand, that I was dealing with on an arrest. He was on the Brady list because he put a suspect in the front seat of his car, so he's on the list. I mean, not much I could really do with that. He broke policy, he did, but front seat of the car. What do you people out there might come and say, "Oh, I would have said," I would have made that. And then I had another one. These are just 2 recent examples of. A cop who was suspended for like 7 months for falsifying a police report. And we're supposed to take this guy's word for it. That's information I could use, right?
That's the big one. Yeah.
And so there's a Brady list and folks can use it however they want. I feel like police officers and state troopers like Michael Proctor, given what we know now, they're beyond a Brady list. People, they still call the officers from the Brady list. If you get a sophisticated enough attorney who can make an argument of why it's going to harm them and do well with that information at trial, great. More power to them. But people like Michael Proctor, they need to be. It's other than just being fired, as obviously he was, but it needs to be like a do not call list. We can't take anything this person says to be fact because they're just so tainted, and that's why that's part of why my comments on that.
Jim, if you were to get elected, when your first day in office, would you go digging? Would you go look at these 2 major cases, Birchmore and John O'Keefe? Would you go digging and see what you can find?
I would, absolutely, yeah, and I fear that things will be destroyed prior to anyone taking office.
That was my next question. Is the shredder working overtime as we speak?
Maybe the people Enron, they put the little things back together. So you got to go trash barrel there and just burn.
Have some outdoor fireplaces going.
Yeah. I think I posted a cartoon at one point of people throwing boxes in the trash, and
it does happen. It's the kind of world we do live in. I'm not saying here, but in general, it's human nature.
Now,
it happens.
In 2026, I would think that everything is memorialized electronically.
You would hope.
Are we? What was the term they used when Hillary's server? Bleaching it or whatever.
Oh yeah, bleach bit. It was bleach bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Are they bleach bit and everything?
That's the problem. That's a problem, and maybe it hasn't been done because they know,
bigger eyes could be watching.
They can't get the guy from the Mass State Police who missed the 40,000 texts from Farwell and Birchmore, and and the guy who missed the McCabe text to go and be the forensic guy for that case. Got to get someone new.
Well, funny you said that. So when the same officers and agencies that we rely upon, and the DA would rely upon to build cases, are the people that you end up having to investigate. How do you prevent this institutional, I call it loyalty, from taking over? Because it's not really money going. It's basically, I don't know, the thin blue line or whatever you want to call it. There's an institutional loyalty somewhere to protect each other. Like if you become DA, how do you get over that?
Yeah, I've said it a bunch of times on the forums that I'm not anti-police. I'm not. I'm
Yeah, I'm
anti-bad.
not either. Yeah.
You know, if you're a crooked cop, I'm anti you. You know,
Hmm.
uh, and then also there's a line because some of these good cops, they might have blinders on. These are people they've worked with for decades, and it's kind of hard to kind of tweeze between the lines. But
Hmm.
um, someone had asked me something similar at an event that was unrecorded, and it was, you know, maybe the police will just stop arresting people, and then what are you going to do? Um, and I said, well, in the context of if you're not going to prosecute those cases, maybe they just stop arresting people, and kind of create a problem for you. And I don't think that's the case. I think, um,
There's going to be a middle ground.
yeah,
Yeah.
because believe it or not, the most incarcerated in Massachusetts right now are nonviolent offenders, and so there's no way a police department is going to just not arrest violent offenders anymore.
Hmm.
Um, those are the cases that hit the news too. So, um, yeah, I don't think it'll stop. Whether there's some sort of like internal coup, I guess you wouldn't know until it happens.
Right.
Jim,
Eric.
if you were to win and day one walking in, I mean, that you have the law enforcement side of things, but you're also going to walk into an office that has been under Michael Morrissey's leadership for a long time, and they have a certain culture that they've been working under for over a decade. How do you go in there and change the culture while still working with, I'm sure there'll be some type of changes going on, but I don't anticipate that you're going to go in there and clean house. But
No,
you still have a lot of people in there that's working under an old culture. How do you go in there and change the culture?
uh, you know, anyone, directives of how we'll run things. If people aren't with that and they want to take off or give their 2 weeks, that's great. You're probably better off not working there anyway at that point. Uh, Secondly, I wouldn't clean house, but anyone who it's been any sort of prosecutorial misconduct or ethics violations that were never anything credible. I mean, those need to be addressed, and those people also couldn't stay. Um, you know, Especially if it meant years of someone being put in jail for a crime they didn't commit. I think that's the worst. That's the worst of the offenses. Trying to get away with it's one thing. Can't no, zero tolerance for that. But if your work um, has led to people being put away when they didn't deserve to be there, and you knew about it, I mean that's a different kind of sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed. Um, let's get into you some of your other policies. You, according to your site, you support extending juvenile court to 18, 19, and 20-year-olds while reserving incarceration circumstances where public safety requires it. So, a lot of parents would hear that and think that, a 19-year-old kid doing something stupid. Uh, but let's just say, I mean, so I don't know, you got a 20-year-old who commits a very violent crime. Should they be treated in the juvenile court? Like how in your under your thought process of the 18, 19, 20 year olds, how does that break down?
It's big. Believe it or not, I don't think. Well, I'm a firm believer of that, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Hmm.
But I don't. It might have been Quincy Votes who could maybe back me up on this, but I believe that every candidate in the race actually shares the same view as me on that. Um,
Wow.
I cannot. Don't quote me 100%, but
Yeah. No.
I think Quincy Votes has that documented. But
Don't worry, nobody watches us anyway, so don't worry. No.
I saw you guys have like 10,000 subscribers, so I mean that's
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
We just
Uh,
crossed the threshold last month.
yeah.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
it's-
so you all believe in the similar thing.
and so the neuroscience behind brain development says that the brain, the part that's the decision making part of the brain, doesn't stop developing until you're 25, and being in Massachusetts as well, as democratic or progressive as maybe we might think we are. There is a bill. It's called like I believe it's called like the Raise the Age bill, and
Mhm.
that is like in the pipeline, and I have no doubt that that'll pass and that it will raise the age to for 18, 19, 20-year olds to be under the jurisdiction of the juvenile court.
Yeah,
Uh, and
but where's
so,
the threshold?
yeah, I think the threshold is when the DA decides to indict a case, because even youth under 18, they can get their case indicted to Superior Court, and we're talking serious felonies here. We're not talking about
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, again, growing up in Canton, I had a classmate, very famous. I don't, like Eric, you know who we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Rod Matthews.
So
was
Rod
the-
Matthews, Sean Ouellette, and yeah, that was my class. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, in those,
he was
A lot
tried
of
as
the-
an adult. Yeah,
a lot of the charging decisions done with when the district attorney's office chooses which cases to indict from juvenile court into Superior Court, which a conviction there, they could be charged as an adult. The only thing that the Mattis decision did was that they can't be held on life without parole any
Mhm.
longer if you were under the age of 18, and doesn't mean you're ever going to get out of jail. It just means you have the ability to be paroled, maybe
Yeah.
at some point in the future. But even the decision to bring some cases remove them from juvenile court and indict them in the Superior Court. A lot of those decisions are done, disparately amongst races, and
Mhm.
you see a lot more black and brown kids being indicted as juvenile offenders as adults than you do white kids. Whether
Yeah, is
no
that
place
because of the
for-
city versus that's probably because the city versus rural.
Yeah, and it's all discretion. Again, if the prosecutor doesn't want to indict it, they don't have to, but they'll choose to, and it's another decision that. I'm not saying it's wrong; it just deserves scrutiny.
Yeah.
Why? Kind of like when they removed Karen Reed's case from district court to Superior with the indictment. They didn't have to do that, but they did.
Right.
And whether they scrutinized that decision more, if it would have had any effect on the way people see the office, we'll never know that. But yeah, so the neuroscience does say, but yeah, I mean, obviously you have to draw the line. You do have to draw the line somewhere, but
Did you play sports growing up?
no.
Oh, yeah. I probably shouldn't have played hockey growing up because maybe that's what my frontal cortex, whatever is. That's the problem. Not developed. No.
Well, I mean, kind of to bring it to sports, didn't they say that about Aaron Hernandez? I mean,
Oh, the CTE. Yeah, it's a real
Oh, yeah.
thing.
It's a
Yeah.
real thing.
All these concussions. Yeah.
When he shot those people into the club, I
Yeah.
don't know. Was he
No,
under
I mean
24?
you see it with all
Or-
different. Yeah. You see it with the wrestlers. You see it with the hockey, football. I mean, any of these contact sports. And I mean, trust me, I don't want to go to flag football. I'm just saying there's got to be other ways with these, like you said, with the no, where you said, it is until your brain's not developed till you're older. But I mean, these youth sports, it's a big thing in New England. So I think it leads a little bit to it. I mean, a lot of the violent behavior. Not
I
me.
mean, I know I'm not, nothing serious, but I know
Yeah.
I could imagine some scenarios when I was, 17, 18 that I would have handled differently today,
Yeah. Yeah.
because impulse control is lower when you're a youth, and kids they do stupid things. I mean, yeah,
Ah,
if it's serious crime. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for the victims' families too.
that
Or the
too.
victim,
Correct.
assuming the victim's still
Mhm.
alive.
Yep.
So
Yep.
speaking of victims' families, you have the Birchmore situation where you know it was originally ruled a suicide, and Morrissey did not look too far into it, and then here we are a couple of years later, and the federal the DOJ has brought charges of murder to Michael Falwell. If you got elected, would you take another look at that and possibly call the DOJ and get input from them? And if you found that there was you think that Norfolk County got it wrong, would you go to the courts? Would you hold a press conference to say, hey, we got this one wrong and we need to do something about it?
Yeah, I do think they got it wrong. I recently read, and I didn't realize it was a part of the hey, you should take a double look at this guy. Was that when he went into the apartment, he was wearing a face mask, and that I guess some of his confidants had said this guy was like anti face mask. This guy
Yep.
didn't wear 'em. I mean, that's like 101. I mean, that should have been like clue number one from Jump Street. But yeah, I would hold it in limbo, honestly, because there's no statute of limitations on murder in Massachusetts. So if the feds screw up royally, we'd still bring them.
Well, like you said, 14 years, right? You've been a technically a defense attorney for 14 years, which is pretty much the beginning of your career, and you've been protecting defendants' constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to become DA, and now let's take Birchmore for example, there's a grieving mother sitting right across from you, demanding justice. How do you convince her that your emphasis, um, if going back to the 18, 19, 20 year olds, um, how do you convince her that the emphasis is on rehabilitation and you're not going to forget the victim?
Yeah. So I mean, at that point, I mean, I think the law would be the law. I wouldn't think.
No, I get it, but
My
aren't you into like
follow.
restorative justice?
Yeah, and for, I mean, I'm actually going to Restorative Justice Circle on Tuesday at Norfolk MCI. So, I was at one about roughly a year ago,
Hmm.
and I am going to one this Tuesday. You'll probably see a video on it, and yeah, I don't think something like restorative justice works when in the short term. That's more of a long term.
Yeah.
For violent crimes. I don't think someone who's murdered someone should be able to, take a few restorative justice sessions and say, I get to skip out on incarceration because,
Hmm.
uh, you know, I'm restored. I don't think it works like that.
Well, it's a case by case. I mean, almost everything's a case by case. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree, and
Yeah.
it's not always the outcome, right, for everyone. I think it's when it's used in an appropriate context, it can be effective.
I think that's where the public kind of gets it, where they're like, "Well, this person." Well, no, you can't. You can't look at every. Every case should be individual, and you get it right with this case. I don't know. I just don't think you can lump every case under one umbrella.
Yeah, like I had a case where it was a domestic assault, and the victim didn't want to testify,
Mhm.
which happens a lot, because they want the acute problem to go away. They want, whether it's their partner is drunk and they're beating on them. They want the cops to come. They want them to take them away, put them in the drunk tank for a night or two,
Mhm.
maybe even scare them with the court process. But they don't want to go, for the touchdown and get and go to trial and have them serve a sentence. And the prosecutors, despite her not wanting to testify, compelled her testimony, and the guy's convicted, and he goes to the House of Correction. Would something like restorative justice work there? It probably would have,
Mhm.
because if you're listening to the victim in the case, who genuinely didn't want this person to go to prison, something else could have been worked out.
Right. Like again, case by case.
But unfortunately, it was a matter of maybe prosecutor's office weighing, listening to the victim and then saying, but we have other interests, so we're going to trump whatever it is you want.
Yeah.
Which sometimes, again, too, I mean, I hate to say it, but it works better for defendants in the converse too. Victims like, I want them to go to jail for 2 years, and where prosecutors' offices say, we'll offer you a continuance without a finding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. I think it could be a great outcome, depending on which side you're on.
Off legal question. How often are you allowed? Do you allow yourself to shut off? Like, well, today you went to a baseball game. How often are you allowed to like step away from the legal stuff?
Oh, the election or like work?
No, in general, no. Like you, 14 years, you've been a public defender. I'm sure you take your work home with you. I'm sure your wife is like, oh, he's sitting down there going through the papers, doing whatever. Like, and then now you have an election and you're running for DA. Like, how often today you got to go to a baseball game? I mean, like, how often do you get to get away from it?
Yeah, no, I try to. It's been more difficult the last 6 months with everything going on.
Yeah.
Just qualifying to get on the ballot for starters, and then all the events and stuff. So the last 6 months has been a little bit more difficult. But prior to that, I think you need a good, like everyone needs a good work-life balance if they're going to be successful. Because I work for the state, and they don't pay us overtime. So do I work?
You don't get overtime?
Oh, we don't. No.
Wow.
40-hour
40-hour week. That's it.
Yeah, but sometimes if you have trial or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Then you drive the bus on the weekends.
Yeah, I know.
So you make extra money.
I was kidding. But so anything after the 40 hours, which could often happen, is it's technically pro bono work, right? But
Yeah.
You do it, and sometimes, but it's not all the time.
Speaking of the bus, any chance you'll be driving the bus through Canton Center at any point?
Yeah, I was going to, but I got stuck. Stuck doing unpaid overtime. Actually, I was going to do it. Well, like 2 Wednesdays ago, they had a band at the I don't know if it was the high school, but it was
It's at the high school. Yeah, it's at the front of the high school.
At the front of the high school, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ride the bus through and park it, and then I got stuck at the office, and I still showed up, but I didn't have time to come home, grab the bus, and go. So I was there with my family, but I heard there's still another one coming up. I think next Wednesday.
They have the farmers market on Sundays as well. Oh. Same location.
Yep, right there, right at the front. Yep.
Also, they had it today.
Yes,
I think it's what, like 9 to 10 to 2, let's say.
2. I think it's 10 to 2 is the farmers market. And
maybe the the Sunday before the election.
Well, the problem with your bus is it's not air conditioned.
Well, we're getting closer and closer to the fall. September
Why don't
1st
you-
is almost here.
I don't know why you don't get a trailer hitch. Put the generator on the trailer hitch. Get yourself one of those small little window ACs. Put it in the window, and now you have air conditioning.
If it was stationary, yes, I'd be afraid the thing would fall out on 94 or 93. It'd be a whole
Tonight on Channel 4, the Truth Bus loses its air conditioner.
yeah, or I don't know, just
Hannah Carter's out there interviewing you.
which was funny because at one point I was soliciting signatures to qualify for the ballot in front of the Trader Joe's in Foxborough, and we had the Trader Joe's people come out. Where's your permit? All this stuff, and I said I don't need one, which is true. There was a case in 2014. This guy, I had the case memorized when I was collecting signatures, but now I can't. It was some guy versus Roach Brothers, which basically said that you can stand on private property and collect signatures at like a grocery store, specifically Roach Brothers, but all grocery stores, so long as it's only for qualifying for a ballot, and that's it. And I knew the law. Security from Foxborough, from Patriot Place came by and they said, we got to ask you to leave. I said, but I technically don't have to. And they're like, hey, you do what you want, but our manual says next thing we have to do is call Foxborough PD, right? I had to leave anyway. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to collect like one or two more and I'm out. So that's what I did. But it was interesting to think if the police came by and arrested me for trespassing, it would have to be Morrissey's office to prosecute me.
And then he'd have to get a special
ballots,
prosecutor.
Going to get signatures to get on the ballot to oppose him in his office. It would have to be a special prosecutor.
Right. Because he can't, it's conflict right there.
They would have lost.
Of course.
I didn't want to take it that far.
It's happened so many times in town. For the most part, people always like to stand out in front of the post office. As long as they're not on the stairs to the post office, they're on the sidewalk with it's weird. You see, for many, many, many years, Canton always had a gentleman's agreement, no lawn signs. About, just before COVID, that all kind of that was it. It was all it took is one person to start doing lawn signs. Now everybody does it. And then you see where people, they make it so hard for you to try to get the signatures because there's such limited spaces for you to get the signatures.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And that's what lends to the same person always being in, which reminds me, question that Eric doesn't even know I'm going to ask. How are you? What's your take on term limits in general for everything?
Yeah, they should. They should. I think of the ones that there's no term limit. You think of the Supreme Court of the United States. That should have been term limits a long time ago. This is crazy. Yeah. There's George H.W. Bush appointees still making law. It's ridiculous.
My older brother, who he is a lawyer, I'm not. He always likes to argue against me, saying there are term limits. You have to vote every 4 years for or whenever their term's up. They're just running again. There is term limits. I'm like, yeah, but they're running unopposed. If there was term limits, then people would know to put their name in to run.
Having no term limits has turned Massachusetts into what it is, a one-party state. There's no. This has been decades. This isn't something that happened over the last 5, 7, 10 years. This is
it's forever.
Something that's been going on since well into
forever.
the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Well, there's a quote in the Boston Magazine that says Massachusetts politics is a contact sport. So I didn't play any sports growing up. That is, but I guess I'm.
Well, you were from Chicago. I know. What do you got? You got the Bears. and then you got the Cubs and the White Sox. That's about it. I don't know. You have the Bulls. I guess you have the Bulls.
So you decided to wade into the blood sport of politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're forgetting. I'm a Bruins fan through and through now, but I mean, you're forgetting the Blackhawks, and they did beat the Bruins.
No, stop! Oh, I specifically left that out. I have a cousin up in Moncton, Moncton, New Brunswick, that he is the biggest Chicago Blackhawks fan. He loves Kane. And I'm like, I try not to bring up Blackhawks with him ever. Yeah. Eric, you want to give him one of your last ones, because we've made it just over an hour here. We don't want to keep it too long.
John, I don't really have another question. I'm happy you came on, John. Jim, I really do appreciate it. I've been following you on X. I find you to be refreshing. And I really do wish you luck, even though I've declared for Adam Deitch. But politics in this state need more people like you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wish I wish Adam well too. I think he's been doing a lot of great work, as the other candidates as well too. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I don't like to talk garbage or much about anyone. So yeah, it's hard for me. But to give a different perspective, I don't know. You saw I have some pictures up, or whether it's riding the bus or even responding in the comments. I've learned to not do that as much. But are your other traditional candidates going to do that? Probably not. Maybe they have paid advisors to tell them, don't do that. That's a bad idea. But kind of what you see is what you get from me. So,
well, two things before you go. The first one, you are someone that, because you are a public defender, you didn't raise money like the conventional candidates do. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? And then I'll leave it open ended. And if you do, also, since we're getting to the end of this, I will give you as much time as you want to go ahead. Give us your elevator pitch on anyone that is undecided why they could cast a vote for you.
Sure. Yeah, and what you say is correct. And I posted about it too recently, because there was a Brookline News article about all the funds that were raised, and inevitably, I'm at the lowest of the low echelon of that. So we're running on like a shoestring budget. I don't seem to mind it. A lot of people say keep money out of politics, and they say they're the ones who say we hate Citizens United. It's ruined politics. But then these might be the same people who are the first to say, Jim, you have no money. What are you doing running? You shouldn't even be in the race. And which is fine. But I don't think money, or at least I would hope money wouldn't be a big factor. I don't need 15 grand to spend on mailers or circulars that are just going to end up like in a trash can.
Right.
I just need name recognition enough for someone to say I'm going to vote for that guy, and it doesn't need to come at the cost of if someone's thinking of donating me $20. Don't keep your money. Just vote for me. It's fine. Tell your friends about me. That's fine. I'm fine with that. And but yeah, I am restricted. I'm a public employee, so I cannot solicit funds. I cannot fundraise. I cannot, hold events of which I'm taking checks or anything like that. So,
well, even if someone donated, technically, even if someone donated like a restaurant, if they donated a space, technically that's something you can't take, because that's money. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think maybe we may have touched on it in a private conversation, but when we were discussing me coming on, but the elected officials, they can not only fundraise, they could also take donations from people who work for them, which is, I would never take money from someone who works for me. That's crazy, especially if their job is reliant on me. It just is a conflict on its face, I think. Yeah. So being a public employee does give me a disadvantage in many ways. It bars other public employees from jumping into races, whether that's for state rep or whatever. But people do it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to maybe even in the least, inspiring the next person who's a public employee to jump in a race, and see how far they can take it. But my elevator pitch, okay, I
Yeah.
talk a lot about incarceration, and people think that I'm being, I'm progressive. I'm being soft on crime, and I like to say it's not about being soft on crime. It's about really being smart on crime, because I live in Norfolk County, obviously, and I'm raising a family here, and I don't want to see crime just flooding the streets and straight anarchy, which some people seem to think happen with progressive candidates. But in reality, addressing the incarceration problem actually lowers crime. The DA's job should be to help lower the crime rate, but ostensibly they don't do much to do that. And we're talking about things like decriminalization, diversion, prosecutorial discretion, to lower the crime rate, where you're not getting that first interaction with the criminal justice system on your record. Because, like I mentioned before, being found responsible or guilty, that's the first stepping stone to becoming a lifelong criminal. And lifelong criminals end up in jail, where they just are hanging out with other lifelong criminals, and they learn to become criminals in jail. There's no services for them when they get released, and no one wants to give them a job. No one wants to give them an opportunity. So what are they going to do?
Stigma.
Make more crime and end up back in jail. So, if you see crime on repeat, it's because someone never got a chance kind of early on. And kind of like I said, there's a lot of studies that support this. But Massachusetts incarcerates more people than every developed country in Europe. We incarcerate 241 people per 100,000 residents, and that is like it eclipses every country in Europe. And when we're talking about per inmate at like $83,000 per year, all these people, we're talking about feeding them 3 meals a day, lights on, paying the staff to watch them, and all the other expenses that go with the Department of Correction and all the sheriff's offices throughout Massachusetts. But there's no rehabilitation being done. This is just
right.
People, and we're going to keep them in there until we release them, and they do something else that's really stupid, and they're going to be back in there, because it's a business, and and it's a very lucrative business too. If we gave people the opportunity and the tools, a little hard for DA's office to do, but working with communities, maybe you can make this happen. If you give people the tools and the opportunities to not commit crime in the first place. I'm talking about, good schools, state reps. The school's closing down in Braintree, next year. It's done. So they're redistributing schools. That doesn't help anybody, honestly, because it's out of the state budget. You're getting more student to teacher ratio, and more people are going to get poor education, and doesn't help if you're trying to give people good education, give them opportunities to be, smarter individuals for one, or just to grow beyond their means. Opportunities for the homeless to be housed, access to mental health treatment, access to quality medical care, and most importantly, too, access to affordable housing, which is the lack thereof. I mean, I don't really even know many people who could buy a house in Massachusetts anymore, and let alone
the average starter house in Massachusetts has got to be $750,000.
Even in Western Mass, probably. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
what kid out of college can afford that? And I think that's why you're going to see a lot of these
bros, but other than that, nobody.
I think what you're going to see is a lot of these towns are going to start allowing accessory dwelling units, ADUs, because the kids, the parent, we don't want them in the house with us. So let's, I got to put them in the garage. So we're gonna build an addition somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and so public safety kind of starts before there's an arrest.
Yep.
So if we can give folks the tools, whether that's people just leaving incarceration or before they become incarcerated, if we give them the tools, that'll set them up for success, so they actually have some upward mobility in life. People who commit crimes, they're doing it because they're desperate. They're not really doing it because they're bad people. Yeah, you got your Jeffrey Dahmers and stuff out there who are obviously just like mentally ill and are you can't help them. But if we can do a lot, whatever we can do to help our community before the arrest happens, it does more for public safety than putting more police on the street or building more prisons. And so
like you said, it's big business and it goes into the state budget. And so anyways, I don't know if where is the next Justice Bus? When's your next public appearance?
I'm going to Restorative Justice Circle on Tuesday in Norfolk. I was gonna post up somewhere in Norfolk, and then from there, I think I was gonna probably do a stop in Foxborough.
Okay.
And I think it would probably get to about the late evening at that point. I don't know who wants to jump onto a bus, with a stranger.
Oh yeah, where's the bus going to be on election night?
That's election day.
Election day. Well, yeah, but it goes into the night. So I mean, where's the bus going to be while you're watching all this?
I got to be careful. You can't get too close to polling centers.
No, I know. Within 100, was it 100 yards? Yeah.
This is so long as I pull up the bus as close as the people with the picket signs are.
Yeah. Where do you want to be?
I'm gonna go to my local, where I vote.
Okay.
In the morning. Stand out there, and then I don't know. Maybe I should just do a live.
You should. Why not? You should just do it, right? And let people come on. I mean, open all the windows and open all the windows. Hopefully, it's a cool day, right? It's September by then.
A lot of the footage you used in the begining was I was sweating too. So because
I know I tried to move you over to the left. Just tried to block that out. I noticed that. I'm almost 300 pounds. I get it. I mean, that's why I play hockey. I am, even when I was in high school and I was skinny, I just, it is, so I feel for you. I really did feel for you sweating in that,
Oh, it was good.
But, all right. So, you're going to be in Foxborough, and last chance, why do they vote for you?
I think it's it's not a net negative. It's a net positive to bring in a defense attorney into the district attorney's office. I don't know that anyone else. I don't. Adam has his experience. Juna has her experience. I got my experience. I think only good things can happen when you bring someone from the outside in to kind of change the culture, change the daily dynamics, because I think it was Einstein who says you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, because that's what they call insanity. So I'm an unconventional candidate. Let's bring me in.
Yeah.
And try something different.
Can we before I always call all audibles. I have one question from the audience. Only because I'm interested in this. What does Jim think about flock cameras?
Oh, they should all be taken down.
Yes. I love you. I love you.
I don't want to.
Oh, I want to take days off from work. Get myself a chair with a long pole and a little like pot and pan, and just sit there and cover the thing up.
The thing is, when I saw a video that was like, they were being funny about it. They're like, oh, if you buy this
Yeah, I watch all
$5
those.
from Amazon and shine it in the camera,
Yeah.
the whole point of the camera gets destroyed. Not saying anyone should do that, but then I'm like, okay, if you do that, like 50 other flock cameras just followed you there.
Followed you, right? Right. Yeah. You got to think the whole thing through. I don't want to destroy it. I just want to sit there and block it for an hour or two.
I read a book called 1984, and
Oh, George, yes, yep.
sounds like
and that's where we're headed. That's literally where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This Big Brother thing really gets to me, and I mean, I'm going to be gone by the time it really takes effect. But it's for our kids, the kids and our grandkids is who it's really going to affect.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Eric, you want to thank them? You got anything else, Eric?
No, I'm good. I really do. Again, I appreciate the time you spent with us. You've been very generous with your time, and I wish you well during the election, and I hope to see you on the campaign trail.
Thank you, guys. No, I appreciate the time on your show. It's I know it to be well respected, and any
Not really.
to be on here, talking with you guys is great. I appreciate you reached out.
Hey, how did we do? Did we do all right? Okay.
10 out of 10.
All right. I mean, I'm new to this. I'm not the best. I'm not the best interviewer. I get it all the time afterwards. You should have just let him talk. I cut everybody off.
With the intro song and video, I give it 11 out of
10. Spinal Tap. This one goes to 11.
Jim, you just made John's day.
You did. I told you. I go, I'm going to have to research you. And then while I was researching you, I'm like, well, the guy needs a song. I got to give him a song. So, yeah.
You're going to have to fill me in on the secret of the song. So.
Oh, so no, my thing is we're a small channel, and anytime we've had anybody on, I've pretty much just made a song for each person. So I'm like, well, I got to make him a song. I'll make him a song. So yeah, that was my.
You're the musician on the song and all that. You wrote.
I
sit
He's got
there
an assistant named Casey that helps.
Yeah, I write them, but then there's an app that puts them to music. But then it takes forever because you have to make sure you put the correct spell. Like for your song, I literally had to change your name to Bear, BEARACAT, cat, right? For it to say it the right way. And so like when I first was writing songs and I would put the songs in for Karen Reed, I would have to spell them READ because I have to spell them REED because if I spelled them READ, her name, it would say red.
Got it.
And I'm like, oh, so you had to phonetically change a lot of the words, and then after a while but then, the majority of our viewers are women 40 years old and over. And so you got to pick songs that they would kind of like. And a lot of our people don't like country, so you can't go country. And I kind of racially profiled you. You kind of look like a stoner to me. So I went with the stoner rock version. Sorry. I'm just telling the truth. So I went with the stoner rock version, and that's how we came out with the song.
Nice.
Yeah. Literally, that's how it came down. So I use Google Documents a lot, and so we'll come up with the verse and everything, and I'll just keep rearranging it. And for tonight, I'm like, well, I can't make it too long, but I really loved the Barakat over and over and over. So that's where I went with just leave it Barakat.
So that bus the image of me is like psychedelic, where it looks like the are melting, right?
Yeah.
That was the day of the Braintree Forum. The night before, it was that I was at the Crystal Ballroom in Somerville, seeing this band called the Babe Rainbow, and and so I was like, I took the picture and I said, put the filter. I said, give me a psychedelic filter, so it melted the words on the. I'm like, hey, I like it. Looks good.
I think it's good. Now you don't have to answer this if you don't want. Is that your bus?
My wife's.
Okay, you don't drive to work in that thing, do you?
I have.
Oh my God. That's in the back of Norfolk County parking lot.
So I have so my daily driver is It's a 2000 Volkswagen Golf.
With 250,000 miles on it.
Outstanding.
Believe it or not, it doesn't have that many miles on it, but it is falling apart. So it's often not working, and when it doesn't work, and I need to get to work, so I have taken the bus. I have. Some story, and I'll fill this in. One day, my car was broken down. I was trying to fix it. It wasn't working. I said, "Oh shit! I'm just taking the bus." Right? So I took the bus in. And, a judge for the first time ever, really, and I was late to court.
Gets out in his suit.
Gave me some help. And you got to have candor to the tribunal and all. That's one of the canons of legal ethics. And I said, Judge, I apologize. I was having car problems this morning to the point where I had to take a bus to work. I had to take a bus in today. It wasn't a lie. It wasn't a lie.
Look out the window.
But maybe the way it sounded was like a public transit. But
yeah. Could you see the judge early in the morning? They're getting out of their car in their provided parking spot, and they just happen to look across the parking lot and they see this guy getting out of the bus.
Yeah,
fixing his tie.
Stand up in it. So I'd tie on the bus and then just top off.
His client's like, "Hey, he's here. The bus is here. Jim's here."
Hop off like I did in the video. Just jump.
Jim does Ubering in the afternoon. He's on his way home. Anyone got to go to Braintree?
Uber. What do they call it? What's the big one that when you could do a share?
Ultra. Is it Uber? Yeah. Oh my God. Jim walks downstairs and to the holding cell. Who's going back to Braintree?
Right. Oh, we don't have to, and that's the thing, bringing clients when the sheriff brings them in, they shackle them.
Yeah, I know.
Demoralizing, but we don't have the shackle holds on our bus, so I couldn't take people.
No. That'd be great.
They can't just seatbelt them in.
No. I'm yeah. Mullins, my fiance is with a department, so I know. All right, well, Jim, thank you so much for spending an hour and a half with us, and I like I said, I hope we did you well, and I hope our cronks that did watch us learned something, because that's what this is all about.
And the replays too. I come
and the
to find replays are big.
They're huge.
We get a lot. Most of our viewership is replay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank
guys.
you. We'll talk down the road.
Thanks, Jim. Have a good night.
You.
There you go. That was nice.
John.
That was nice, Eric.
Very good.
Wasn't that?
Yeah. Good guy. Like I told you before, I said,
guy. That was a good get by you. That was all you. That was all you, Eric.
It's just a little quick interaction on X, nothing big, and I just
if you hadn't told me, I would never have reached out to him, and I had a great time with him. I know one of our cronks, Scotty McGinnis, didn't like him, but you know what, Scotty, I want to hear from everyone.
Absolutely. In fact,
you know what I mean.
We have another one coming up Tuesday night. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we. Well, I'd like to get into some of the other stuff that we have going on. And then, but I mean, we could, you want to call an audible? Yeah, to the 12 cronks that are still watching us,
and the replay crew,
Tuesday night. So, it was a little while ago. I don't know the exact date, but I sent out a one email to all three of the candidates running for state rep. We had already heard back from Steve Cavey. We had him on. And Tuesday night, next up will be Lisa Lopez. So pretty much to say we got 2/3 of the candidates running for state rep. So we're going to hear from Lisa Lopez on Tuesday.
Are we locked in at 7:00 with Lisa, or was there different
7:00?
times?
Oh, geez, I mean, we could change it. What do you need? 7:30? Do you need 7:30?
No, I'm good. I just didn't. You didn't tell me what time Lisa agreed to come on.
Yeah, I like 7, but
Okay,
I mean,
I
we
like
can make it 7:30. Gary, you missed everything. No, Gary, we still got 3 more topics to go through. Actually, 2 now. We're gonna. I'm gonna play a quick little because. So tonight, basically, it was the interview with Jim Barakat, and then we have some McCabe, Albert, Higgins, Karen Reed information. We have some Jim Sullivan information, and then some Bob Burr information. So what I'd like to do is, because normally we start the show off with the Justice for John song, but we wanted to get right into it with Jim Barakat. So I'm going to play the Justice for John song. While that's playing, I'm going to actually turn some lights on so it doesn't look like I'm in my mother's attic. And we'll be right back with some Karen Reed, Higgins, Albert, McCabe news. What do you think, Eric?
I like
Is that all right?
That
All right, here we
works.
go. All right.
Morning during a blizzard, there's no other cars on the road, so you're not coming down with sirens blaring, waking up an entire street, a neighborhood. It was just lights and flashing, and to be honest with you, you couldn't see very far.
They thought the ears would quiet us. Thought
She
the
said, do you think I
questions
hit him? And I
would
said, no, I don't think you hit him. What are you talking about? Let's just go find him.
Would you want to look around the area? Did you consider using a rake or a shovel?
You can bury facts beneath the snow. You can twist what people saw. The truth has got a heavy wheel, and justice is the law. We got a long, long line for O'Keefe tonight, rolling through Canton with the truth inside. Karen walked free, so the question rolls on. Who had the means when John was gone? Yeah, we're rolling for John. Let the whole world know. You can hide the truth, but the truth's gonna show. From the courthouse steps to the break of dawn, John deserves justice, so we keep rolling on. They put one woman in the chair and told the world the case was clear. But 12 voices heard the evidence and would not convict her here. Karen walked out innocent. The Commonwealth had its say. But John still deserves justice. That didn't end that day. Because somebody knows what happened. Somebody saw the signs. Somebody had the opportunity in some way in that timeline. We got a long, long line for O'Keefe tonight, rolling through Canton with the truth inside. Karen walks free, so the question rolls on. Who had the means when John was gone? Yeah, we're rolling for John. Let the whole world know. You can hide the truth, but the truth's gonna show. From the courthouse steps to the break of dawn, John deserves justice, so we keep rolling on.
He was not at the house when John was there.
Look at everyone who was present, every person who came and went, who had access, who had reason, who knew more than what they said, who made a cause before the sunrise, who gathered once the news was known, who changed the detail, lost the message, or somehow never checked their phone. Don't pick the answer, then shape the facts. Don't force the pieces where they don't belong. Follow the evidence wherever it leads. John has waited far too long. justice. So we keep rolling. Justice. Keep it rolling. Justice. Keep it rolling. Justice. Keep it rolling until the truth is known. Keep it rolling. Justice. Keep it rolling. Justice. Keep it rolling. The truth may take the long way home, but we'll keep rolling.
John, you're muted.
Yeah, I muted myself.
I
when
just
was
wanted to say,
running.
as far as all the songs that you have produced,
Yeah,
you found a vocalist.
that's a good one.
That's
I like
a
that
good
guy.
one.
That guy. It takes me so many times to get one that I like, and then when I do it, I'm like, I don't know, I like it, and then I got to run it by a couple of people. I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like, all right, before I put them out there, I don't rush them. I don't rush the songs. So thank you. I like that, Eric.
If Clive Davis was still with us,
You know what? I like the you know what? Thank you for acknowledging my hard work, Eric.
yeah, no, you put in the effort. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You make me look good.
So, the two other things we want to get into tonight is I just want to give everybody the update on the House defendants versus Karen, and it's basically it's about her phones. So, in the civil lawsuit brought by Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, I wonder how he's doing down at training, Brian Higgins, against Karen Reed and Aidan Kearney. Apparently the House defendants' attorney subpoenaed the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office for material that had been produced in that wrongful death litigation. And so that filing, I guess the subpoena went to the DA's office on May 6th, and the DA's office produced the material on June 1st. But here's what happened. That production gave out Karen's full phone extraction. Not a little report, not 10 text messages, not January 28th through January 30th. They got copies of the full extraction containing years of information.
Who has the information?
The lawyers, and obviously Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, not really Colin because he's, probably peeling potatoes. Brian Higgins.
So when do the leaks start happening?
That's what we're waiting on. But basically, the filing says that the plaintiffs received copies of everything, and now Karen's attorneys are asking the court to make them delete it, because their argument is basically you can get relevant discovery. You don't get her entire digital existence just because the DA's office accidentally handed you the keys to, basically handed you the keys to the car, the warehouse, whatever you want. So the plaintiffs have agreed to delete the full extraction. Well, according to the motion, the plaintiffs agreed to delete the extraction and allow Karen's side to review it and produce whatever was actually responsive to civil discovery. But I don't think they've agreed to it yet. I think that's where the fight is right now, is that they're going to agree. They're going to delete. I don't know. But just the fact that, again, do you think that when you're looking at the DA's office, you think that this was done on purpose, or this was just another accident by the DA's office?
My opinion is it was bad. It wasn't. It was done with ill intent and revenge.
Right.
But that's just my opinion, John.
Right. So the House defendants' lawyers basically said, listen, they served a valid subpoena. Karen knew about it. She didn't move to quash the subpoena or obtain any kind of specific protective orders before the DA produced the material. So, according to them, they don't think that she should be. She can't say uh, after the fact and demand them. You know what I mean? Like she can't be like, "Oh, hey, I know it's after the fact, but you shouldn't have gotten this." And again, this is why you pay lawyers big money.
Mhm.
You know, they think that her lawyers were aware of the subpoena before the production. They didn't seek any specific relief beforehand. So I don't know, chalk that up to score one for them. If you're keeping score at home, that's that's one for them. Yeah. But again, like you said, in our opinion, I think that's the DA just like going screw you. Here you go. Here's everything. Here's
Well,
the
think
full.
about it. In the whole scheme of things, the Karen Reed case,
Mhm.
the two trials, they basically the district attorney's office was, I think, embarrassed. So
Yeah.
when you get put into this spot,
Absolutely.
you're going to get your pound of flesh one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it goes both ways because remember, Karen wants them to delete her phone extraction, but Karen has Jen McCabe's phone extraction from her criminal prosecution. Right? The lawyers still have all of that information. She's had it for numbers of years, right? So the fact that Karen possesses the full extraction containing all of Jen's information, and now they have all of Karen's information. It's basically what's good for Karen is good for Jen, and I'm telling you, it's probably going to go to a judge.
Everything goes to a judge.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Karen didn't subpoena Jen's phone. She's had this information from her criminal discovery. Whereas the Commonwealth, right? Whereas the Commonwealth gave up all of her stuff in the criminal into the civil trial. They're like, here you go. Here's everything from her. So it's really getting ugly.
Going to be very interesting. When is that civil case set for trial yet? Is there a date?
Oh, what's it? November. There is a date.
Oh, it's coming up. It's going to be this year.
Yeah, remember the judge? No. The discovery. All the depositions have to be done by a certain time. That date's coming up. Yeah. Oh, we want to call them the House suspects now. I like the House defendants. I made a whole House defendant song. I'm gonna have to make a whole new song now for the House suspects. Yeah.
AFT no more. You call them whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. But now you're making more work for me. Now you're going to make me do a whole House suspect song. But House suspect, that doesn't, there's no.
John, they're just looking for a bonus track.
There's no House suspect. That doesn't go. It doesn't flow. House suspect.
I'm sure
the
Casey,
House.
I'm sure
the
Casey
House
will help you out.
Yeah, Casey will. But House, there's an SE at the end of House, and then you're going right into S for suspect. Whereas House defendants, there's a whole hard. There's the soft S and then the hard D. Everybody likes that hard D.
All right, John, let's get back on track.
Right. Speaking of that, don't forget, there's also another phone involved in all this, and that was Lindsay Gattani's phone. Remember, she originally agreed to cooperate with Tully, and then she didn't want to turn over her whole phone, but then apparently she was subpoenaed, and she was she says seashells by the seashore. Lindsay basically said that she was assured that her private material would stay protected by Tully. That's what she went with. And apparently, 7,000 pages of unredacted private material ended up being produced to Aidan Kearney's defense, which ended up becoming public. But we all know there was a problem with that. And the big problem was that Lindsay alleges there were missing communications from all of that. And it was the only thing that's missing is all her communication between her and Tully. So, not saying Tully did anything with the evidence, not saying anybody in Norfolk County did. We're just saying that somehow the only stuff missing is the communications between her and Norfolk County police officer, whatever his title was at the time, lieutenant, sergeant, whatever he was.
That stuff, I assume, can all be retrieved, yeah?
Well, you better hope. Right.
Hello, Verizon.
But, yeah, I know. So, go back to Karen, okay? Even though we're going back to her, forget her name for a minute. Let's pretend the name is Jane Smith from Walpole. Jane Smith from Walpole gets investigated. The government takes Jane Smith's phone, right? They extract years of material out of that phone, right? 4 years later, Jane Smith is involved in an unrelated civil litigation, right? Someone subpoenas the records from the government. Should the government simply hand over the entire digital image, her medical, her family conversations, her financial information, her contacts, her pictures, everything? Or should they stop and say what exactly is responsive to the subpoena that was given to us? That's the question that you should be asking yourself.
Well, I'm concerned because then we're using this one case as an example, but if the entire extraction has been given to attorneys, and that their clients can gain access to that, no matter who it is, that's an awfully dangerous thing to have over a course of time.
Mm-hmm.
And at any time could, especially with the internet these days, this can be smeared all over the internet years from now.
Yep. Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Norfolk County is saying, well, she should have filed the right motion quickly enough.
Well,
again, down to lawyer stuff.
Yeah, hurry up and wait in the legal world.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? Put yourself on the other side. What if it was Jen McCabe? Well, what if it was Jen McCabe's phone, Brian Albert's phone, Lucky's phone, Kelly Dever's phone?
Again, anyone. No matter who it is,
exactly.
The stuff that's pertinent to discovery, evidence, I get it. It's there. It's going to be there forever. But they don't need to see text messages between me and you that have nothing to do with whatever.
Right.
Or, pictures and things like that.
Yep. Why do you think Norfolk County is delaying FOIA responses by additional 2 weeks? Yeah, they're sitting on stuff. I know. How about this? Are they violating any HIPAA laws by doing this? I don't know. I'm not the lawyer in the family. But again, maybe these are supposedly some of the best lawyers in the state on both sides, so perhaps they have a legitimate explanation for this. We're not going to get it.
No, definitely not.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe, hey, what if a judge orders both of them to be deleted, both Jen's phone and Karen's phone? It doesn't matter. It's already
It
they already
doesn't
got it.
matter. Who's
Doesn't
gonna
matter
delete?
anymore. It's
I
already out.
deleted mine,
It's gone.
but he's got
I know.
his.
Yeah. Can you trust that?
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. Can you
What's
trust
done
either
is
side?
done.
You can't
Exactly.
trust either side.
You can't put the genie back in the box. In the bottle.
No. Right. Yeah. So I think the rules need to apply to everybody. Not, I mean, you got Karen's team, you got the McCabe's team, you got the police, Norfolk County, the state police, you got witnesses, you got defendants, I mean, it's everybody.
John, that seems to be the theme of what this election's about. The rules
Yeah.
should apply to everybody.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's welcome to Norfolk County.
Yep.
Wow. Welcome to Norfolk County, folks.
If the rules did apply to everybody, we probably wouldn't have a show.
Yeah. Correct. Jen's was lawful. Karen's was unlawful. Well, because Karen got Jen's phone as part of discovery in her case. Jen got Karen's phone because Norfolk County just turned it over.
Did you get a copy, John?
I didn't get a copy. No. I don't. I'm excommunicado with all of these people. I don't. A
lot of stuff ends up in your inbox. I don't know how it happens.
I got a lot of stuff in my
just
inbox.
does.
Not as much as I did the first 4 years. Now I've kind of taken. Eric, perhaps you haven't noticed, but we did take a week off. Okay,
I noticed.
And before we get into the next topic, I do want to say, I know we have some. Medical people watching, but apparently I have come to the self-diagnosis that it's not arthritis. I don't have a stress fracture in my foot. I think I still have a little bit of the gout that I'm recovering from. Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my medical prescription.
Yeah.
Turmeric and cayenne pepper. Get on them.
No more Prixins.
Oh, you can have all the pricks inside as you want, as long as you stay to the regimen of getting turmeric and cayenne pepper in your system every day.
So basically, right? Basically, the gout is a buildup of lactic acid in your joint down at your big toe there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people like turmeric. So when you think back, how did I get it? I played 4 hockey games in 3 days, right? There was a buildup of lactic acid, right? Went right to my foot, gave a little zing saying, hey, you're too old and too fat to be doing, young kid stuff. And that's what happened. So, yeah, it's not as painful as it was a couple weeks ago, but yeah. So, yeah. So, what else, Eric? We got, Jim Sullivan.
I was waiting for this. Jim
Sullivan. Let's go through the timeline. I wish I had the Kronk board for you guys all. Okay? Or I need to play more hockey. Well, summertime. I thought I was going to spend a lot of summertime on the motorcycle, and I tried to. What did we do? We missed one Sunday this summer, haven't we? We only missed one. It was last week. Did we miss any other ones? Did I take any other?
John, if you get hurt on the
ice, it shows. We lost all our viewers in 1 week.
Listen, they got mad. You didn't even tell them we weren't going to be on.
I know.
It's rude.
Right. I know. I'm rude. Now we pay for it. Now, but you know what? I will tell you, we have 124 very loyal Kronks.
And back to Jim Sullivan.
And
we do have very loyal Kronks.
Okay, here we go. May, right? May of 22. Jim Sullivan was interviewed by Mass State Police, okay? Which, when they were investigating John O'Keefe's demise. And we know it was Proctor and Urey, okay? Fast forward, September 2025. Jim has a pretty reasonable thought. And he basically says, hey, chance I can get a copy of my own interview? And that's where the newest episode of the Quest of the Holy Public Records PDF begins with Jim Sullivan. Okay,
Pretty simple request, right? I mean,
pretty simple request.
It was his own interview. He spelled it out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the guy.
Hey, my interview, September 28th, 2025. September 28th. He goes, he basically says he wants a copy of the interview with state police conducted back in May between me, Jim Sullivan, and Trooper Michael Proctor and Yuri Buchanan. He also, in that email or FOIA request, public records request, whatever you want to call it, basically says, I am that person. Okay. I guess he worded it a lot better than I did with any of my requests, right? Or maybe not. Who knows? We're going to get to it, right? So the Mass State Police quotes his request back to him. Okay. And we get to October 14th. And his email basically makes its way all up the chain to the Public Records Division of the Secretary of the Commonwealth. And it's a senior legal clerk named Benjamin. His name's Ben. And Ben basically says, hey, can you provide us with the original public records request showing the sender, the recipient, and the date and time that it was filed, right? They're looking for that paper trail. Okay, easy enough. Okay. Jim responds. 6 minutes after Jim gets that email, he sends back an email. Kind of like what happened with me in town of Canton. They'd send me an email. I'd respond right away, and then you still got to wait, right? But Jim gets the email. He answers it within 6 minutes. And he goes, I submitted it online September 28th through the Massachusetts State Police website. Here's the reference number. P0103, blah, 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 right? There's your receipt. There's your request. There's your date. Okay. So Ben sends back an email and says, well, do you have the copy of the original request? And if not, can you please contact Mass State Police and get a copy of the original request? And Jim Sullivan's response basically is, wait a minute. I'm appealing to you guys because I'm having a problem getting a response from them. And now you're telling me to go back to them so that I can prove to you that I asked them. You following me? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
As crazy as it sounds, yes.
Welcome to Massachusetts. Right? You know, it's like going to the RMV and going, hey, you know what? I lost my license. And then they go, well, can you show us your license? No, I lost my license. I came to you because I lost my license. Same thing, right? So now it gets to be, so that was back. So the second email, right, was at 11:54. Okay. At 12:40. All right. So an hour later. All right. Jim attaches the original request and he writes that he isn't sure sending them back to the agency that failed to fulfill the request is the most efficient way to handle this. Okay. You know, I really don't think that this is the best way to do things, guys, but you know, all right. So 7 days later, October 21st, 2025. So just, you know, almost a year ago, right? The state police send Jim Sullivan a formal response. Okay. And it basically says the department has identified responsive records. Right? So just by them saying that, Jim's not saying, I think someone interviewed me. Do you think this interview existed? The Mass State Police have, in their response, said, yep, we've identified the response to your request. Still following wrong, Eric?
I'm following along. I'm just wondering when he's going to get it. Is he going to get it? Has he done it?
Not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. So the Mass State Police cites Massachusetts law concerning death investigations and says that the investigation was conducted by state police detective assigned to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Therefore, Mass State Police tells Sullivan that the Norfolk County DA's office directs and controls the investigation. So in other words, yep, we've identified the records, but Norfolk County controls them.
Reports produced by Mass State Police.
Right.
They just weren't forwarded to Jim Sullivan.
Go talk to Norfolk. Go talk to Norfolk County. Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right. Problem solved? Maybe. Okay. So we get to October 21st at 11:32. Is when Mass State Police sent Jim that email. 11:56 is when Jim, 24 minutes later, Jim's very efficient. He gets these emails. You know what it's like. Your phone goes off, you see it, you answer it right away, thinking, dude, I'm going to answer this right away, and let's just keep this ball moving. Right? Happens all the time, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay. 24 minutes later, Jim forwards the entire matter to the Norfolk County District Attorney's public records. And guess who he copies?
Greg Connor.
Exactly.
How'd I get that?
Right? And basically, it's per attached and below. Here it is. Mass State Police said, you guys are handling it. It's now your turn. Right? Okay. So Jim says he's entitled to it. That's his claim. There may be exceptions. There may be investigative record issues. There may be legal arguments over custody or disclosure. He requested his 2022 interview. Mass State Police acknowledged that they had it. They said, go to Norfolk. He goes to Norfolk, right? That's the whole chain of emails that we saw on Facebook. We saw it on Twitter. We saw it everywhere. Okay. What do you think happened next?
We'll talk to you in 14, 15 days. Am I close?
Well, we know that now. The only thing else we have 10 months later, right? We haven't seen Jim post anything about his interview, have we?
As far as details about the interview?
Yeah. Has he showed anything from the interview?
I don't believe so. No.
Well, the only thing else that we have is that on August 11th of this year, Jim Sullivan was at a deposition.
Yeah, a few days ago. We're talking.
Yeah. August 11th.
Today. Yeah, so 5 days
13,
ago.
14.
And John, let's not
14,
forget,
14.
we're talking about a witness who was on witness list for 2 trials, never got called, and he appears to be getting in the runaround for and what was he? He was at the CF McCarthy's with John and Karen for what, maybe an hour? What's in that interview that could be so that you want to play runaround with it? Let's play hide and seek with this person we never called to as a witness, and he can't even get a statement.
Yeah. We know from his side. We only know from his side from his his tweets and his texts that he basically said in the time he saw her, she wasn't toasted. He never said she was toasted.
Never.
Never said she was toasted. And when he and they and here's the thing, they in the opening statements of Lally's trial one, he basically said he was going to put Jim on the stand until he found out that basically Jim wasn't going to play ball with him and say what they wanted.
Jim told Lally that she appeared to be fine.
Correct.
She wasn't toasted.
Yeah.
So, you got a report that Lally's reading to him that says, "Oh, you told Detective Proctor, Trooper Proctor, that Karen was toasted," and obviously Jim's like, "Yeah, I never said that. In fact, she was fine."
Right. Now, me and you and the Kronks don't need someone to tell us what Jim Sullivan remembers saying back in 2022, right? State police say that those records exist. Why don't we see what he actually said to them back in 2022 and compare it to what he's saying today? Right? That's where I would go with this.
Well, and if you're looking into it a little bit and you're saying, well, why didn't Karen have him on the witness list? Well, she obviously saw that report and felt that he was going to say, "Oh, well, if we put him on the scene, he's going to say I was shit-faced."
Right.
But that wasn't the case.
Nope.
According to Jim Sullivan, anyways.
Maybe Proctor took crappy notes. Was
He's
he
a terrible speller?
Yeah. Was he a righty or a lefty?
I don't know, John.
I'm just wondering. I'm not that there's anything wrong with lefties. I'm just curious. Now I could have put up all of the emails, but for those that want to, it's very easy. You can go see Jim's emails. Well, if you're a Kronk, you can join the Kronk page on Canton Chronicle on Facebook, or you could go. You could see Jim's. You can go. Was it the real Jim Sullivan? Is that what it is on Twitter?
Yeah. So if you're not on X, like a good portion of our Kronks, feel free to join the Facebook page, Canton Chronicle, and I usually take most of Jim's tweets.
Yep.
X posts, and we post them again on the Kronk page.
Yeah. I gotta open this up. I want to read. I gotta pull something up here. I want to read a letter. The Canton citizens back up printing. Not that they stopped. They didn't stop. Well, they did for a little bit, right, Eric? They took a little hiatus from posting citizens' letters. Right?
I don't know.
They did. They did for a little while during. It was a year or two ago.
I think it was. I kind of do know. I think it was more related to election during the election period.
Yeah. So here it is. All right. Which is
it was also a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, one of our Kronks, Gary Titus, he's DJ Gary Titus. He used to work at Pufferbelly's down the Cape. I happened to see an Instagram reel today that people were talking about all the different bars in Boston and down the Cape and everything. And as they were talking about it and they were showing all these pictures, what popped up? Picture of Gary. Right. Anyways,
with this mustache.
Yeah. The puffer belly ones. Yep. So Bob Burr was a select board member who I had a little fleeting moment in which I thought I was going to run for select board and I was going to run against him. I don't know why. It was a temporary insanity time in my life.
You thought you could make a difference, John.
I thought I could make a difference because I want to free the Reds, and I was getting pissed at the way the local politics were just on the
Free
Reds.
The res.
And yeah, and we're going to get into some of that later too. I do have to stop by because apparently all the money they put into the docks, from what I'm getting told by people I want to go see for myself, they were in such disrepair only a couple years after they've been put in. It's disgusting. So we're going to see about that. So I'd like to read this letter from Bob Burr, who was a select board member at one time. And it says, "Dear editor, I write in response to Kathleen Keith's letter that appeared in the July 9th edition of The Citizen, which was Vote Mike Loughran for State Rep. Regarding the select board meetings, she writes, disruptions reached a point where the select board found it necessary to meet remotely on Zoom for a brief time." Okay. Now, before I go into the rest of his letter, I'm sure many of you guys have seen what's going on in Stoughton. Some of our cronks have tuned into the Stoughton Select Board meetings, in which they the only difference is instead of 3 minutes, they get 2 minutes, but they opened up the floor to anybody. And when I mean anybody, they let everybody in the room get their 2 minutes. They let anybody online get their 2 minutes, right? Because they knew every voice wanted to be heard.
That first meeting they had after the chief was announced to be on leave, I think they dedicated 1 hour
Exactly.
to public comment. 2 minutes per person,
Right.
but they used a full hour.
Yep. Meanwhile,
You know what else, John?
Yeah.
Something very important, I think. I know it's small, but it's not really small. Stoughton Select Board opened up their meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
yes, they did.
I really think that that's something that Canton should follow suit on, and they should have been doing it for a long time.
Some of the other Canton boards do.
Yep.
Not all of them. That's the thing.
It just should be done.
Yeah. So this Kathleen Keith basically is saying that disruptions reach a point where they found it necessary to meet remotely on Zoom for a brief time. This is Bob Burr. My observations are different. I saw Mike Loughran, who was voted chairman of the board, shortly after the annual town meeting in May of 2024. He lasted a couple of meetings in person before coming up with a scheme to move public meetings to Zoom to better control public comment period, because he didn't believe he could end public comment period without criticism. Because we saw what happened back. Now I'm pausing right there. At the pub without criticism, I'm going to interject mine. Because we saw what happened when Tom Theodore tried to shut down public comment, right? You have townspeople that want to speak and you just want to shut them down and move on with your town business. Well, that's not how it goes, right? But he really didn't want to respond to it either. From this venue, he controlled who spoke and what people viewing saw. In other words, he controlled the gallery view. The stunt wasn't temporary either. In fact, the select board meetings from July of 24 to March of 25, just before the town elections, were held on Zoom. We all know this. Eric, you want to know how I know this?
How do you know, John?
Because I was in front of his house almost every meeting.
In a chicken
Or
suit?
I was in
Or
a chicken
rooster
suit.
Rooster
Or
suit.
an elephant suit. I was the cock suit, if you want to call it a rooster or a cock. Or I did spare one meeting and went to John Conley's. I went back and forth, right?
You didn't wear a suit up in front of like an elephant suit out in front of John Conley's or anything. You
I don't think I was dressed appropriate on Chapman Street. I may have dressed appropriate in Chapman Street, right? No other board found the need to move this medium, including the zoning board. Nope, they didn't. Planning board. Nope, they didn't. Notably, Loughran also scheduled a special town meeting during this 9-month blackout from November of 24, where the members of the board attended that meeting in, and this is quotes, necessity for the use of Zoom for select board meetings in the first place. So Bob Burr goes on to say, I was on the select board for 13 years. Not one question ever presented to the Loughran board was unanswerable. Not one. The choice to move to Zoom was not a necessity, but rather a political choice. And the so-called disruptions were avoidable. If the select board could truly be responsive to public inquiry, he goes on to say, when select board meetings finally resumed in public in the Sala meeting room, Loughran could often be seen typing feverishly on his computer during public comment period in a show of complete disrespect and disdain for the moment. Remember, I brought it up many times. I don't know how many times we've had this discussion, Eric, where I've said we called it smile effing people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you guys asked for people to vote for you to be put into that position, and you can't even look the people in the face when they're talking to you. You're in your laptop, you're looking down, you're just doing your thing, just biding the time, hoping that those 15 minutes are up so you can go do what you want to do. You didn't even listen to those people. And someone else right here, a select board member of 13 years, is saying the exact same thing that I've been saying. Anyways, back to his letter. In my opinion, it is clear Loughran does not enjoy being on the select board, and he hopes to supplement his income by jettisoning to a well-paid, part-time state rep job before his current select board term is up in April of 2027. Let's move on from this ugly chapter in Canton governance. And this is, again, Bob Burr saying this. Elect Lisa Lopez on September 1st to be the next state rep. She is professional. She possesses the right legal education, aptitude, and will work for the job full-time for us all. So respectfully submitted, Bob Burr. So that was Bob Burr. So that was his take on Mike Loughran. Kind of, I got the exact, Eric, we've had our disagreements. We're going to have Lisa on Tuesday. She's going to answer some of our tough questions. I hope it'll be almost as fun as Jim. I don't know Lisa as well. I don't know. I
didn't know Jim either.
I didn't know Jim
I'm
either.
sure it's going to be great.
It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But
are you going to make Lisa a song?
I have one day, huh?
You got work to do.
I know. I'd have to do it for her, but I don't know if
Who's going to be your vocalist?
I will try. I'll make it a woman. I'll make it a woman for Lisa. Should I do it in Spanish? I'll have to ask her. I don't know. I'll do something respectful for her. I'm gonna try. I'll try my.
Just out of curiosity, why would you do it in Spanish?
Well, Lopez. She's Spanish. Yeah. She's Spanish.
All right.
Right. Wouldn't. Hey, Eric, it wouldn't be my first Spanish song. It wouldn't be my first. I already had I had the original Justice for Enrique song.
I'm not complaining. My wife's maiden name is Lopez, so. Your wife's
not
do it in
Spanish.
Spanish. I'm sure my wife's going to be happy about it.
Your wife is Colombian.
What do you think that is?
It's not Spanish.
Wow.
When was the last time Spaniards were in Colombia?
She's not from Spain, but she speaks Spanish.
Is it the same? I only ask because the Nova Scotian.
Are you telling
French,
me that Lisa Lopez is from Spain?
No. The Nova Scotian French is completely different than the France French.
Oh, there's all kinds of dialects.
I failed French in 3 years in a row because my father helped me with it, telling me my teacher was wrong, and then my teacher was telling me my father doesn't speak French. So that was the end of my French class.
John, just my wife, something personal, but my wife has a lot of friends from all over Latin America. So there's the dialects are out of control. Now I don't speak any Spanish, but I just know because there can be 12 of them and they're all from different countries. And they all sound, they're all speaking Spanish, but they all got a different kind of accent.
Is it an accent or are the words different?
I think the words are very similar, but
the grammar is different. The words are flip flopped.
The speed of the language changes.
Right.
My wife speaks extremely fast when she's talking to her Latin friends, but some of her other Latin friends, I can tell they're not speaking as fast.
And she speaks really slow when she talks to you.
In English, yes. In English.
In any language, she speaks very slow to you. Do you
understand
the words coming out of my mouth?
John, if she's speaking Spanish to me, I know to be concerned.
Oh.
What I do now.
Yeah. So everything Bob Burr said in that letter is everything that I've been saying for the past 3 years about Mike Loughran. He in my mind, and this is one person's opinion, my opinion, and it means absolutely nothing, right? But I'm still going to give it, right? Yeah, I'm still going to give this opinion. Okay. He was on that board when Tom Theodore tried to shut down public speaking. He saw what happened. Okay. All they had to do was open it up and it would have gone away. It would have gone away quick.
We're only talking about 15 minutes.
You would have if they had allowed people to speak in the beginning, it would have been gone. In my opinion, this thing would, the select board stuff would have been gone way earlier than that. Okay. If memory serves me right, there's a woman on that board who was in one of those seats with signs basically saying we were shut up by Tom Theodore, and that's Susan Harrington. I remember Susan Harrington being part of the room there at the Sala meeting room, in which we're not allowing public comment tonight. So
was she one that put tape over her mouth?
She was one of the ones. Yeah. Okay. Like a bunch of them. Right. So you saw that Tom Theodore, it failed miserably for him. And then he loses the election. And then all of a sudden you're the chairman. And the first big decision you do is, you know what, we're going to go to Zoom. I'm going to sit in my dining room with all my little Hummels, and I'm going to pick and choose who gets to be there 3 minutes, and it backfired on him there. We had the police driving up and down Norfolk Street. You had all of his neighbors getting a slice of cake from me, right? We had all, he had to have someone a note. He put a no trespassing sign up, and now he wants to be state rep when he hasn't even. He never even addressed any of that. That's like nothing to him. So that's my feelings with Mike. Now, that doesn't mean that I would not treat him just as fair as everyone else we've had on this show in the last 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. If he agreed to come on, I would treat him just as fair as I've treated Steve Cavey, or just as fair as we're going to treat Lisa Lopez tomorrow, or just as we did Jim Barakat. Barakat. Bacharach. That's Bert
Barakat.
Barakat, Bert Bacharach.
And John, as far as tonight goes, I think there was a little bit of everything in there. I think you had some softball questions. I think you had some mediocre, a little bit more challenging, and then I think there was some questions in there that he may not have wanted to answer.
Eric, you ever fish for tuna? Sometimes you have to reel, and then you have to pull hard, then you have to let off a little, then you have to pull hard. Well, that's how I treated him tonight.
Took you about 4 or 5 hours to land the tuna.
Yeah. Pretty much. No, he was a good sport, and I think we did it. I think we were fair.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Um, oh, look at this, Eric. We are doing perfectly according to your to what your request was tonight.
You're 42 seconds, 44 seconds over timeline.
No, I'm not. We're gonna be out by 10.
I said 9:30.
All right, we'll be out. Well, we're gonna finish it up right now.
All right.
And I'll run through it real quickly. So yeah, something to look forward tomorrow is tomorrow, Tuesday. Lisa Lopez will be joining us on Tuesday to talk about the state rep race that she's a candidate for. She's going to tell us why she decided to run. Hopefully, she will. She'll tell us why she thinks that she's the person the district needs. Hopefully, she'll tell us what separates her from Mike Loughran or Steve Cavey, and what she would actually hope to accomplish. Hopefully, it's not a whole bunch of women's lib stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know me. No.
Oh.
See, Gary likes her, so hey, it can't be that bad, right? Like Gary's never made a mistake before in his life. Anyways, so that's tomorrow.
Gary voted. Right? Gary voted. Well, I shouldn't say who Gary voted for. It's not my place to say.
See, hey, look at that. Glenn Lake liked my reference. Tuna fishing is a good metaphor for interviewing. Well done. I'm working on my interviewing skills. I try to let him talk a lot more than I let other people talk. I didn't cut in. We skipped a lot of questions that I had for him because
he answered a lot of questions we had before we asked the questions.
I know. That's why I skipped a lot of the questions. Yeah. So, and I want to get into one other thing and this is just me. This is not Eric. It's really, this is for me. First off, I do want, and I want to do this now right before we say goodbye. I want to thank Dunk's Ice, who's a member for 10 months. Woo. I wonder if this is Dunk's Ice who has a birthday or not. I don't know. It could be. But I know one of our Kronks has a birthday. And then Romian Mass, member of 9 months, Sunday Fun Day. Thank you.
Sunday Fun Day.
Okay. So many of with the what do we got? What's our number? I normally don't look, but okay, we still got 100 left. We joke about our numbers. We joke about our 10,000 people. We joke, we do a lot of joking, and it always comes back to, as long as some people are watching, as long as we keep getting the private texts that people want us to keep doing this, we're going to keep doing this. It has nothing to do with the money. Okay. I want to make something clear. We love our members. We love our replay crew. I love my dog who's right here. Yo, I see you. Okay, can you go please lay down? I'm going live right now. Thank you. There's a reason why we set the membership at the lowest level possible. And it's really just to keep this going. Okay. It's not free to produce. I'm not making a living out of it. We want to get the word out, but there are some costs. StreamYard, the internet, the computers, the cameras, this beautiful microphone that you guys see me touching all the time. The hundreds of hours that Eric and I combined put into the research and development and the songs.
You and Casey.
And Casey and Eric combined. I combined you in, Eric.
Yeah, I get looped in after you and Casey figure it out. I get looped in. I get it.
So when someone does throw us a few bucks every month, we appreciate it. Okay. It helps keep this thing going. And I really want to thank anyone that has ever donated, whether you donated through Super Chats or whether you've donated through a Venmo at the bottom. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay. But I want to tell you guys, because like I said, I took a week off to do some reflecting. And of course, I looked into other, which I don't like to compare us to anyone else because we're a little bit different than everyone else. But here's the difference. Okay. your membership, anyone that's been a member here, that supports the work. It doesn't buy you access to the work. We're not going to do a members only stream. Okay. You're not, we're not going to find some very important document and say that's going to be only members only. Okay. We didn't put any of these interviews behind any paywalls. We could have put Lucky behind a paywall back with Yannetti. That could have been behind a paywall. That would have been huge that night. Right. But I don't want to conduct any kind of interview and tell half the audience that you got to pay us $5 just to hear it. All right. We're not breaking any news. If we think the public needs to know something, we're going to tell you. All right. Our members aren't paying to get information that the rest of you can't have. And so I like to think of it as the people that are members that are helping us. It pays for the microphone. It doesn't paywall what I say into the microphone. You know what I mean? And so for that, I just want to say thank you to anyone that has. Oh my God! Well, see, there you go. That's not what it's not my intentions. But Spy Girl just gifted 10 Chronicle memberships. My thing here is and Eric knows we don't ask for the money, but sometimes we get caught up in our show and we don't hit every person that has donated to us, or and I just want to say we appreciate anyone that's ever donated to us, and we have no intentions of putting anything behind a paywall, and we have no intentions of doing any kind of members only kind of stuff. So
I did get a co-host T-shirt out of it.
Yeah. Well, you also have you also got a new T-shirt with the viaduct in the car. You just haven't.
Yeah, I got to purchase that though.
I'll get you one. I will get you one
sent to me.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm telling you right now, I will get you one. And I am well aware that we have a Kronk out there that likes black shirts. I will work on that tomorrow. I will get you white lettering on black shirts for tomorrow.
She's not going to buy a shirt until you make them black.
I will make a black shirt with white lettering tomorrow.
And John, I know that you don't want me probably to say this, so I'm going to say it anyways.
Go ahead.
Just so the Kronks understand, we have our own mission statement that John and I have had since day one.
Yep.
And if for some reason there's something that doesn't align with the mission statement, that's when you might get something that's members only. But if it's mission statement worthy, it's going to be for everybody.
Yeah, we just haven't gotten to that point yet. And I really don't, I guess the frustration is I understand it's a business. I understand that some people, this is what they do for work. It's not what we do for work. We just want to get the news out there and also give a little bit of entertainment, right? And connect. And this is our little social connecting for the week. And we're trying to do a good thing.
How's my accent, John? Did Glenn understand?
I just got frustrated when I see multiple levels and multiple. It just. I'm not calling anyone a grifter. I'm just saying it just frustrates me. We're all trying to. There's a lot of people that are trying to make Norfolk County a better place, to make Canton a better place, to bring justice to certain things. And I don't think you have to. I don't think you should have to pay for justice. So. Yeah, maybe some people want to. I don't know. That's just me. You all right with that, Eric?
I am with that, Glenn.
All right,
Glenn, yeah. That's a good comment, buddy.
And I do want to thank the 92 people that are left watching us. I have a couple of thank yous. Dennis Sweeney for still staying awake, and it's 9:43. to Scotty McGinnis. I read a lot of your. So that was the other thing I did want to bring up. A lot of times I try to give our guests full attention, and I don't read the chat. Sometimes I read the chat, but I don't put them up on the screen because I just don't think that the person who's answering the questions, I just don't want them to lose what they're answering the question to read what I'm putting on the screen for the guests.
Before John cuts them off.
Yeah. Right. So Scotty, I read your stuff. Glenn Lake, I read everyone. I read your stuff.
Where's Jeff Williams? I miss Jeff.
I didn't see Jeff. I saw Gina Marie. I saw Gary. I saw ATF. I saw the non-conventional Glenn Lake. Who else? We had the same 15 to 20 people in our chat, and thank you. Yeah. Right.
All right, John.
Tuesday night.
Not next Sunday. Well, we'll be here next Sunday.
We will be here next Sunday. Oh yeah, we will be here next Sunday. But we have a show Tuesday, so tell you all your Kronks we're gonna be here Tuesday. All right. Hi, Dennis. Dennis Sweeney's awake still. There you go. So he's back from Indiana or wherever he went across the pond.
John, should we start it the way we finish it and give Mr. Barakat his Barakat, I should say?
Oh, I already took it down.
Oh, you're
no. I already took it down. I'd have to go search. No, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it just like. Hey, Eric, and another.
It's the Chronicles signing off with a flame, dropping names, spitting facts, shaking up the game. It's fire, it's grit, it's no holds barred. A mic in one hand, the town on guard. The truth hits harder than a Fairview brawl, and the Chronicles here to expose it all. From cover-ups to donut runs, we light up the night like Canton Suns. Next episode, yeah, we'll be back with more names, more